Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations. Previously, we began the game, and we witnessed a murder most foul in the office of one Miles Edgeworth. And poor Buddy Faith was shot in the abdomen and killed by one Jacques Portsman, who is right over there. And then I got kind of stuck, and I said I would sleep on what to do next, and I have a few ideas. First though, yeah, the pun in Jacques Sportsman's names, it's Jock Sportsman. Jock Sportsman, Jock Sportsman. So there you go. So, first up, an organizer, I would like to look at the revolver once more. I never looked at the back side of it. There could be something here, though it really doesn't look like it. Looks like only one round was fired from this. Yeah, we saw all that, so we can skip it. Idea number 2 was to speak with everyone again, so let's begin with Gumshoe. You called, sir? Oh, there is something new! Crime scene oddity. So, any keen insights, Detective? Well, I noticed that you haven't found anything odd about the crime scene yet. That's unlike you, sir. If you spot something that seems off, you should check it out. Well, maybe what's odd is that there's nothing odd, and that everything seen as it should be is in fact the sign of something mysterious afoot, All you have to do is line the cursor up with where you see a contradiction, and hit the deduce button, but after that you still gotta back up your hunch. Pick the piece of evidence that does the job and present it, sir. It's that easy. And I suppose you've spotted something already, which is why you explained all this. Not really. But hey, that's what you're here for, Mr. Edgeworth. To find them all in a jiffy. Beaming with overconfidence as he none too subtly cries for assistance. Can we ask him about the secret safe? Did we do that? I had no idea you had one of these things. I mean, I thought I knew everything there is to know about you, Mr. Edgeworth. I feel like I've caught a glimpse of the hidden side of Miles Edgeworth. There's a great deal you don't know about me. At least, I hope so. The victim's gun, huh? It's the same model as mine. A tool used to protect lives, yet one that can also take lives away. Those who take a gun in hand wield a great responsibility. I hope you understand that. I don't really use my gun at all, sir. The only time I would use this baby is when I'm fighting a hot duel with a convict to look ultra cool. Take this man's gun away, please. You were doing so well until that last bit. Okay, nothing to say about the crime scene itself. We already showed him the badge. Okay, so maybe I really am just not putting 2 and 2 together. Crap. Anything new, Mr. Princeman? May I have a word with you? Please, I need absolute silence. Dusting for prints at a crime scene is the most sacred process. The man loves his job. Maybe a bit too much. Okay. Can I look at the... Yeah. I hope we can solve this case quickly. I like to return to relaxing on this sofa. That thing looks a billion times softer than my mattress at home. Oh, this poor man. Can I sit on it, too? Just for a little while, sir. Detective Gumshoe, you know I can't allow that. Until this case is solved, neither of us have time to spare, let alone rest. You're right, sir. I'm gonna work real hard and be a real trooper to the end. Even once this case is over, I don't think he can afford to take any time off. Says a man in control of his salary. Okay, Jacques. Mr. Portsman, a word, if I may. Oh, Jim, your laugh, your smile. Yeah, how do you get Jim from Buddy? Like, I know how you get Bob from Robert. I know how you get Dick from Richard. You just ask nicely, but Jim from Buddy. I don't get it. Is that supposed to be like a sign that, like, he's making a mistake and he doesn't actually know this guy's name? Or, but I wonder if it's a sign, a clue. Well, crap. Okay, I really do think we've done everything we can, so I need to just put my head to the test here. Something wrong with this picture. So I need to find out what here in this scene contradicts the evidence. Unless there's a logic I can work out at the moment. Oh, no. I have nothing. I have one thing, but I can't do anything with just one thing. Okay. So, crime scene notes. Bullet went clean through the victim's abdomen, so that does make sense. The bullet could land on that spine of that book there. Makes sense to me, I guess. What's with his own gun, though? Victim's revolver, issued to the victim and believed to be the murder weapon. Only one shot fired. This bullet went into his abdomen, and a second bullet fired from a different gun went into the coat hanger painting thing. How could he have been shot with his own weapon, I wonder? Secret safe. Each prosecutor has only one in their office. Only they know of them. Prints were wiped. Well, that's not even relevant to what's happening right here. Well, crap. I mean, I genuinely do not know what I do here. Guy gets shot, staggers back, clutches his chest, puts his hands to support him here, then he slumps down immediately and dies. Here's his blood stain. You can see where his legs were and where his hands landed after he slumped down. And then he was moved to the right. And then the murderer took out all these books to look for whatever he wanted. Whatever it was he wanted. The bullet hole is askew compared to where he must have slumped down. That's why the angle seems so weird to me before, but how do I... I think these white books and these brown books here, these three, their positions might be swapped. If that were the case, the bullet hole would land right here. It should be there. Gumshoe put the books back wrong. So I really think that I need to do something with this bullet hole. I think that's the most suspect thing. So this is where the bullet lodged itself after it went through the victim, huh? For the bullet to be lodged so squarely in a file spine indicates that the files were ransacked after the shooting had occurred. Then I guess the victim was moved because he was in the killer's way. put them all back just as they should be, sir. It doesn't look like anything's missing. But are you sure about that gumshoe? I wonder if they found what they were looking for. Okay, I need to try this bullet hole again. I know I tried deducing on this, but I think I did it with the gun. But if I compare it to the crime scene notes for contradiction, it's not even in frame. Okay, look. I've stalled here long enough. I want to keep this party going, so I'm gonna look it up. I'm stumped. I truly, genuinely, honestly am stumped. This game got me in the tutorial. I feel immense shame, but I have a Let's Play to do, so. I was like one button press away. I should have just gone through with it and checked and trusted my gut. You do, in fact, look at the bullet hole and deduce that it contradicts the crime scene notes. I cowered it out. I almost had it. Kind of proud of that, I guess, but there is clearly a contradiction here with this bullet hole. What do you mean, sir? You don't see. Quite simply, the bullet hole itself is too low. If the victim was shot in the stomach, the hole should be much higher up. But what if the guy was shot while he was sitting or lying down, sir? That would be illogical. The victim leaned against the shelf here after being shot, which suggests that he was standing when he was shot. Then that means... Wait, what does it mean, sir? It means you need to use your brain every once in a while instead of mine, detective. In any case, it means someone made a faulty assumption. And it was from this mistake that our current contradiction was born. What is the faulty assumption that caused this problem with the bullet hole's position? The order of the files! I got that bit ahead of time. I believe the order of the files is a bit off. You mean I put them back in the wrong order just now? Hey, actually, I think the labels on the files are wrong, sir. 0A, 0B... Oh... No shit, Sherlock? 0 comes before 2. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, you see here how the files that were shot begin with the number 0? What are those doing all the way down there after 1, 2, and 3? That's really weird. Actually, the way they are organized now is the correct order. What? Oh. They are exactly as I see them in my mind's eye. But the numbers are all out of order. Those white binders are special, so they are arranged a little differently. But from this, we know that the files were not in the order when the crime occurred. Oh. Oh, that's not Gumshoe. Aha, so that's it. I believe the killer made the same incorrect assumption as you just did, Detective. Let's rearrange the files in numerical order and see what we find out. Do you think it'd be okay to prop the body back up to how it was before it was moved? No. They finished processing the crime scene, so I don't see why it wouldn't be. Okay, look, if they want a weekend at Bernie's My Corpse to solve my own murder, I'd be cool with it. So I think Buddy's okay with it. If you please, Detective Gumshoe. They put his hat back on. As I suspected, the bullet hole is now where it should logically be. The killer went through my files first, before shooting Mr. Faith. And then put the files back in numerical order, I guess. Exactly. And then proceeded to shoot the victim. But why would someone kill a man and then look through our files one more time? Puzzling indeed. The files were thrown into disarray twice, once before and once after the crime. But why? Now the crime scene is as it was at the time of the murder. Time to give it another look. Oh. Is that always there? Hello? What the hell's going on here? This. What is that? Why does it say gumshoe on there in blood? Oh. Oh my god, it does. But where's H? O-H. Oh. Did the thief make off with O-H? Oh, yeah. I'd say it's some incredibly incriminating evidence. Yes, indicative of criminal activity indeed. No, wait, there's gotta be some mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me. Say something, sir. It appears that one of my files was stolen. Is that all, sir? What about me and my situation? Is this what the killer was really after? Oh. Investigation complete, and I got healed. Looks like Jim was able to leave us the name of his killer in the end. And this most important message managed to reach us. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. You can't be terribly pleased to hear that your beloved partner is the guilty party. If you are going to accuse Detective Gumshoe of being the culprit, I sincerely hope you have some proof to back it up. Jim's words, they're more than enough, wouldn't you say? If that's how you want to play it, then at least allow me to understand your reasoning. You got it. I don't like this one bit. There's something strange about this man's attitude. And there must be some sort of flaw to his logic waiting for me to dig it out. Oh, is this going to be like some equivalent to like the cross-examination? Like, I'm starting to question if this game's actually going to have like court sessions in front of the judge. Like, this game's called Ace Attorney Investigations, not Ace Attorney Prosecutoring. Is like everything just handled neat and tidy in a bow at the crime scenes in this game? I'll have to see about that. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you going to do? What I always do in court. I'm going to cross-examine him. Well, there you go. One way or another, I'll expose the flaw in his logic with this technique. Oh, how do you do that? Can you explain it to me, sir? Might as well. Alright, first I listen to the witness's testimony. If I find a flaw in the testimony, something that contradicts the evidence, I open the organizer and present the piece of contradictory evidence. Well, that makes sense. But that's old news. But it's not like there's gonna be a flaw in their testimony every time, right? Correct, and at those times I need to press the witness by touching the press button. Sometimes by pressing I can draw out new information, and a new or modified testimony. I think I get it, sir. I'll be sure to try this technique out during investigations, too. I would pay money to see that. Very well. I'll even show you how it's done. Now watch carefully. Argument. Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Further, you messed up the files to make it look like you had committed theft instead. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. And it will be by his final words that you'll be brought to justice. You intend to argue that the victim's dying message points to his killer. I can hear Jim's voice, and he's calling for his killer's arrest. Are you sure you're not mishearing his words, Mr. Portsman? There is no way Detective Gumshoe is the culprit here. I'll find the flaw in this man's logic, and expose it with credible evidence. Rebuttal. Rebut your face. Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Why would he need to do that when every detective is issued a gun?
Hold it!
You know, there's something I've been meaning to ask. What is it? Why do you call the victim Jim, when clearly his name is Buddy Faith? Thank God. Isn't it obvious? Jim is the perfect name for my companion. Fuck! Fuck! Son of a bitch! No! That's painful. That is weapons grade pun. Oh my god. Well done. Okay. Just in case anyone at home isn't getting it yet, Jim has in GYM for the Jacques Sportsman. Jacques and Jim, don't those two names go together like peanut butter and jam? But Jim isn't even close to the guy's real name. Well, Jacques and Buddies just sounds off somehow. Besides, he was the third of a bunch of guys I decided to nickname Jim. He talks about the victim like he was his pet. Further, you messed up the files to make it look like you had committed theft instead.
Hold it!
Do you really think it was necessary to dishevel my shelves twice to do that? That's true. Okay, then maybe his real intent was theft. Hey, are you accusing me of stealing something from Mr. Edgeworth? It's a possibility. Maybe your salary's been cut so much that life is getting a little too rough to handle. I'll have you know that I have 3 square meals every day, pal. Okay, so all 3 of them happen to be instant noodles, but... Poor thing. What an evil prosecutor you were paired up with. And what a motive, no? And that's when you removed Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf.
Hold it!
And why would Detective Gumshoe do such a thing? Because the body was getting in his way. He had to mess up your bookshelf somehow, right? Anyway. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding.
Hold it!
Why do you think that the killer didn't notice the bloody letters? The body was covering it well, wouldn't you say? That's how he missed it. But judging by what I've seen, it doesn't take much for your detective to miss something. Who do you think you are? You know nothing about me, pal. There's a lot a person can understand about another from first impressions alone. I can't say I disagree with him on that point. Oh, why don't you say something, sir? Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth. Despite his lack of attention to detail, I don't believe the detective to be the culprit. Nobody could have overlooked the bloody letters, and I can prove it, with evidence. I couldn't ask for a better setup for the game-finishing spike. And it will be by his final words that you will be brought to justice.
Hold it!
Are you saying that those letters were intended for you? Yep, Jim was an outstanding detective. I would expect no less from my former partner. It looks like Mr. Portsman still doesn't understand. He has yet to figure out the true meaning behind the bloody letters. What are you sputtering over there? Can't you just admit my logic is perfectly sound? Actually, there's a gigantic flaw in his logic. A gap so wide that even the good detective can spot it. Now to clue Mr. Portsman in by presenting him with some evidence. Yeah, his argument hinges on Gumshoe completely missing the letters when a book from the middle of those letters has been removed. You didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. Sir, please use your eyes.
Objection!
There we go. A classic. Perhaps you're not aware, Mr. Portsman, but there is a serious flaw in your logic. Bringing a bit of the courtroom into this, I see. No problem, I'm game. I can't help but find it odd. Excuse me? Odd that a fellow prosecutor would be brought down by the power of his own office. What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking, I get it. If you have the time to laugh, then you have the time to take another closer look at this. Do you still not see? If not, may I direct your attention to the missing file? What? That's impossible. What's impossible, Mr. Portsman? Nothing. Oh wow, his sweatband is actually catching his sweat. That's nice. The files on that shelf are all about a certain case. When the killer went to take the file after murdering your partner, I highly doubt they could have missed the bloody letters written on the spines.
Objection!
It's possible that they could have taken the file before committing the murder. I think it's pretty obvious that the file was stolen after it was written on. The missing letters and the detective's name where the file should be is proof. Yeah, I mean, the S is gone and there's only half an H. If Detective Gumshoe really was the culprit of this case, I highly doubt that even he could overlook his own name written in blood on the files. Especially as a detective who can't stand the sight of blood. Which means, what exactly? What does this make this dying message? It makes it the work of a criminal intent on tampering with the crime scene. That's so low. I can't believe the criminal tried to pin this whole thing on me, sir. I can. I'm gonna get him, sir. You'll see. I'm gonna have them under arrest in no time. Well, Mr. Portsman. Brilliant. Absolutely splendid. Logic deserving of an Olympic gold. I appreciate the praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed. You win some and you lose some. That's how life goes. Glad everyone's so cheery. even though I feel more dead than alive.
But you know, it really is a shame. I really didn't want to have to bring this up, however...
What is it this time? Are you still after me, pal?
Humor me for a second. Who has the key to this office?
That would be me. But Mr. Edgeworth just proved that I'm innocent, pal.
Whoa. That's absolutely right, and I acknowledge your innocence. What? Then why do I sense that you still have something to say? What is he even doing? Well, I was thinking, did you know there is one other person with a key to this office? One other person. Hey, you there.
Yes, sir. What is it, sir?
Would you kindly fetch and escort that lovely young lady here for me? A lady? A lady? The girl is a member of this building's security. Think of her as a material witness.
This security? Did you say security? No, stop it, pal, don't.
What's wrong with him all of a sudden? Maggie Bird? Gumshoe does have a crush on Maggie, doesn't he? I believe she needs no introduction. I have called upon Miss... Yes! Called it. Ooh, booyah. That feels good. I know my shit. Have called upon Miss Maggie Bird, a member of security. Uh-oh, wait. Here I was, reading Gumshoe's scaredness of seeing Bird, as, just being shy, like, oh, he has feelings for her, but he can't act cool around her, it's gonna be weird. But Maggie's acting weird too. Has there been trouble in paradise already? Uh-oh. Also, what the hell voice did I give her? She appeared in like 2 cases? Whatever. Detective Gumshoe, sir.
Maggie.
Miss Bird is a security guard on watch tonight. I see. And your point is? My point is that she could very well have used it. And by it, I mean the master key, which can open all the office doors in this building. What? If you are not the guilty party, Detective Gumshoe, then the only other person with access to this room is Miss Bird. How dare you? I would never sneak into someone's room.
That's right. I refuse to believe that Maggie's a culprit, pal. It was me. That's right. I did it.
Can we take that as a confession, Detective?
Well, it wasn't really me, but it definitely wasn't Maggie, pal. So yeah, it was me. If it was, you'd have no problems with that, right?
Please refrain from flying off the handle, Detective. There is no need for such theatrics. Listen to your boss, Detective. He understands what I'm saying here. That girl is the only one who could have committed the crime, and for one simple reason. Reason for suspicion. It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door, then that leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. On top of which, she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Making it all that more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message. Wow. So you're saying she used the master key? Incredibly incriminating evidence, wouldn't you say? Let's take a close look at that. Yep, that's a key. It's a master key to every office in the building. Well, that was concise. There's no text on it at all. It's blank. All right. That's what you claimed about the evidence earlier as well. And that was then, this is now. The flow of a good match always changes during a rally. It's all about your reflexes and reaction time, especially for an athlete like me. I wonder if there was anyone else other than Miss Bird who could have used the master key. It seems that the only way to get Mr. Portsman to give me more details is to press him. It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key.
Hold it!
Are you sure Miss Bird is the only member of security who could have used the master key? There's only one person on staff at this time of night, and tonight, she's it. Isn't that right, Miss Bird?
That's, true, but I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir.
Wasn't able to? What's that supposed to mean? Yes, moving on. I'd hate to get sidetracked by something unrelated. What do you mean, unrelated? I want to hear what she has to say, pal. But you can't really trust her not to tell lies. Plus, I hate wasting time. Should I hear Miss Bird out? Yes, absolutely. Not so fast. I, too, am interested in hearing what Miss Bird has to say. Didn't I just say it'd be a waste of time? We don't need to hear her lies. I'll be the judge of that. Miss Bird, if you please.
I discovered that the master key was missing at around 1 a.m., sir.
What do you mean by missing?
As in, it wasn't anywhere in the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it.
Mr. Portsman, I believe this to be an important piece of testimony. Don't you? I can't believe what someone like you would be taken in by such words.
I'm not lying, sir.
Objection!
If that's the case, then I'd like to know. Why have you the master key now?
I don't quite know. It just reappeared all of a sudden, sir.
A likely story. And where is your proof that the key was stolen to begin with? I bet you just forgot where you put it and then found it again.
I never lose things. I can practically guarantee that. With me, if something disappears, it's usually because someone stole it.
Yeah, pal. Trust me, you don't want to test just how bad her luck is. Unfortunately, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive. Oh, that's not Gumshoe. Glad you agree, Mr. Edgeworth. But... You still haven't established Maggie's motive for breaking into Mr. Edgeworth's office. Her motive? Didn't we already establish it was theft? I mean, the culprit clearly went through the bookshelves and at least tried the safe. It is as Mr. Portsman says, Detective. I can't ignore the fact that all the evidence points towards a motive of theft. But I'm done taking blows. It's time to counterattack with a few facts of my own. Her intent? From the messed up shelves to the wiped down safe, I'd say thievery.
Hold it!
I concur that the culprit's motive appears to have been thievery. However, glad to hear that the great Miles Edgeworth is in agreement with little old me. However, with regard to the investigation of the bookshelves and safe... Hey, good thinking asking for my opinion on the matter. Would it be too much for you to allow me to complete a full sentence? I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door...
Hold it!
I thought we had established Detective Gumshoe's innocence pretty thoroughly. It was just a theory, one hypothesis among the many possibilities. I mean, I had my doubts about Miss Bird from the very beginning. If that's the case, then why didn't you mention her first? Now, don't make that face, see? There goes the truth running the other way. Let's pick up the pace and see if we can't catch up to it. I don't think you're catching my drift. But we are in agreement that the detective isn't the killer, right? If so, then I hope you'll understand when I say... that since she is the only one who could have opened your office door, then that leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect.
Hold it!
Don't you think it's a bit early to be jumping to conclusions? Are you saying there's another way to open the door other than with the master key? Oh, I get it. Perhaps you had a spare made for someone else. I'll have you know I have never made a spare. So what are you insinuating? Nothing. Guess I should have known better than to suggest that someone like you would. On top of which, she knows our good detective, doesn't she?
Hold it!
Is there anyone in this district who hasn't at least heard of Detective Gumshoe? A good point. He's practically a celebrity among us prosecutors. Really? I never knew I was so talked about, sir. Uh-oh. Gumshoe enjoyed this moment of pride. Oh, jeez. We're holding our collective breath, you know. For when you screw up so badly that you're literally chased off the force.
Oh, wait, what? Is that true, Mr. Edgeworth?
Of course not. That's hogwash.
Ooh, don't scare me like that. I almost had a heart attack there.
Making it all that more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message.
Hold it!
By dying message, you mean the bloody letters that spell out Gumshoe. I figured that whoever wrote the name must have wanted to frame him. And just the act of choosing his name is proof enough that the two knew each other well.
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and present some evidence.
I would love to, but first we should listen a bit more and digest what he is saying. And press him for more information.
Okay, so he pressed everything.
So now he's saying that Maggie Bird's intent was to steal something from the office. I want to say this statement here was added to the testimony, or his argument rather, by pressing that first message earlier. So, what do I have that contradicts that? Wouldn't the security master know the code to the safe? Or is that not really a thing? Let's see here. Okay, only they know of them. Okay, that's pretty much telling me clear cut that Maggie does not know about the safes. Maggie does not know about the safes? Hey, did I just stumble into an answer here? Okay. Okay. Ugh. Please cease your coat fluttering. Is there a precise sentence here that can be read like, hey, no, Maggie couldn't have known about the safe? From the messed up shelves to the wiped down safe. I'd say thievery. But only prosecutors know about them. Yeah, let's try that.
Objection!
Do you wish to continue insisting that Miss Bird was set on stealing something? Why not? It's the truth, after all. It was also by your logic that we came to the whole thievery conclusion anyway. That may be, but you must also be aware of the fact that the safe is a secret safe, the existence of which is only privy to prosecutors. Digging this theme. I find it a little hard to believe that a hidden safe was a part of her cunning plan. But she could have found it by accident while she was turning everything else upside down. I highly doubt that. I'd say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. After all, only the bookshelf and the safe were targeted. He's biting his metal? Yeah. Yeah, even I didn't know about that safe, pal. And that means there's no way Maggie could have known about it either. Then are you proposing that the killer is a prosecutor? Interesting conclusion. That's definitely looking more and more probable. How can you look at this man and not think he's guilty as hell? Also, isn't it a thing to, like, bite gold coins to determine if they're real? Maybe he's gonna find out that his gold medal is fake. What's wrong, prosecutor? Do you have a different suspect in mind now?
Curses, why? What made you...
What's with an angry face all of a sudden?
It's all my fault.
What do you mean?
It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret safes.
What did you just say?
We were partners, like inseparable conjoined twins. That's why I told him. I filled him in on the secret safes.
Then that means...
Yeah, I know. I had only just told him too. Obviously it was wrong of me to tell him. I still can't quite believe it, but the thief who broke into your room was probably Jim.
Now he's claiming the victim was the thief.
And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you?
Oh, wow!
Miss Maggie Bird. Excuse me? I mean, you are a security guard, right? That's your job. But killing is going a bit too far, even in your risky profession.
What the? You're still accusing Maggie of the murder?
Yes and no. I mean, she had stumbled upon Jim, who had probably drawn his gun. I get it. It was self-defense, wasn't it? No, I couldn't. I could never do something like that, not even as a security guard, sir.
Plus, even if he was the thief, he wouldn't have a key to his office.
Which is precisely why he had to steal it, wouldn't you say? It was Jim who stole the master key. Oh. Pretty impossible for a supposedly stolen key to be here with us. Unless you retrieved it from Jim after you killed him. Mr. Portsman, are you honestly accusing your own partner of being a thief? I don't want to admit it, but it's the only way for everything else to make sense. Has he no honor? Now then, I think we're done here. The investigation waits for no man. Would you people be so kind as to see yourselves out?
You can't kick us out. This is Mr. Edgeworth's office.
But I'm the one who's been assigned to this case. You are all suspects to varying degrees and therefore ineligible to run this show.
Listen, pal, how many times do I have to say this? Maggie can't be the culprit.
Detective Gumshoe, calm yourself.
But, sir...
We have no other choice but to accommodate his request. For now. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. At least one of you understands. And now, then, if you could remove yourself from my crime scene, I'd be most grateful. Humph. Mark my words, Mr. Portsman. We will meet again. If that's a formal request from the legendary prosecutor himself, then I suppose so. Now don't disappoint me, you hear? To be continued. Hey. Huh. Well, that's an interesting development then. Okay, now it's 4:18.
What is with that prosecutor? I can't believe how rude he was. It was unbelievable.
Please maintain your professionalism, Detective.
I'm gonna find some real solid evidence proving Maggie's innocence. You'll see, sir.
But we've been kicked out of the crime scene, sir.
True. So then, what now?
Looks like my life's fallen into yet another gigantic ditch. Do not despair, Miss Bird. We can overcome this as well. There are many other places and things we should be looking into anyway.
Really, sir?
For example, this hallway. The linchpin of this argument against Miss Bird is related to the master key. In that case, this hallway is a perfect place to look for more information.
I already see where the key is.
Regarding the mystery surrounding my door.
Begin investigation. Alright.
Well, let me just get it real quick. Oh, that's not the key, that's the file. Well, before any dialogue changes, I should speak with everyone. Gumshoe, how you holding up?
Yes, sir.
Anything of interest? Detective Gumshoe, you look rather intrigued by something. Care to share?
It's nothing, but I noticed that Mr. Portsman calls his partner Jim. And the detective in that Sunday night drama, All My Cops, is named Jim too. I bet one of them is a big fan of that show.
You seem to know a little something about it yourself. I take it you two watch it, you'd watch it too.
Of course. The tight bond of friendship between prosecutor and detective is great, sir. But it's nothing compared to the super strong friendship we have.
Friendship, Detective? I think you're mistaking it with pity. How many cars can this man be thrown under?
How can you say that, sir? And after all we've been through, too. Sniffle. About Miss Bird.
No way she's a killer. Please don't tell me you buy into that accusation, sir.
Rest assured, I think she's innocent. However, I need to ask her a few things regarding the security guard position.
Well, if you're only asking, that's okay. Just stand next to her and then touch the talk button. Then you two can talk about whatever topic you pick. When you want to ask her about evidence, all you have to do is present it. After you choose what to show her, touch present again, and off you two go. I recommend showing different people different things. You'd be surprised by what they say.
Thank you for the explanation, though I don't recall asking for one.
Oh, just so you know, sir, you can show me evidence in the same way too.
I do believe it's time to get down to business and ask some questions of Miss Bird.
Ignored again. Sniffle.
Well, on that horribly depressing note, I think that'll do it for now. It's good to see Maggie Bird again. I feel like she's kind of an underutilized character. Yeah, it's just good to see her again. Man, I only have the vaguest of memories about her, though. I remember her from the initial case of Game 2. But where did she appear after that? Was Maggie also in the final case of Game 2? Or am I thinking of Adrian Andrews? AKA Samus Aran. What other case was it? Not the circus one. Was it Game 3? Whatever. I just know she's been in like 2 cases at least. Well, hopefully sailing will be a bit smoother from here. Hopefully I won't get stumped again. And I'm quite excited to explore, because, I mean, yeah, for once, in an Ace Attorney game, I'm gonna be exploring. Like, I hope that at least one destination here will be the security office where Maggie was working, and where the key was stolen from. Maybe there's something left there, though I kinda doubt it. Probably. So yeah, I think next time we'll kick things off by interviewing Maggie, showing her a few pieces of evidence like the prosecutor's badge, picking up that journal beneath the couch, and from there, just exploring, see what mischief we can get up to. Man. It's so nice that Ace Attorney just doesn't falter in its stride between games. This is already such a strong start. Jacques is a fun villain. He's so transparently guilty, but it's that kind of scramble and fly by the seat of your pants kind of energy that makes him endearing, even if he is a filthy murderer of a poor innocent buddy. Freaking Jim. His gym partner. His partner named Jim. God! Is that the best pun yet? Is that the best pun yet in Ace Attorney? Oh man, it might be, just for how awful it is. Anyway, I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been more Ace Attorney Investigations. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. So until then, please take care.